All right, welcome back to the NSCSA Esports State Tournament. Playing for the Division II Grand Finals, we have isitacheese from Nebraska City versus IAmCoolMan from Nebraska City. Teammates facing off in the finals. Very interesting matchup to be sure, considering they'll probably have been practicing against each other to get ready for this. Starting in the bottom right, IAmCoolMan playing with the blue Protoss pieces. Just a friendly reminder that his name is... Sorry, give me just a second here, having some issues with my booklet. There we are. He is Anthony Robinson, a senior, and he plays Protoss. In the top left-hand corner, playing with the pink SCVs, we have isitacheese, real name Trevor Ferryman, a 9th grader playing Terran. Supply Depot finishing up a pretty classic build order from this Terran, going for barracks, then a Supply Depot barracks, and a Vespene Geyser. Meanwhile, opposite end of the map, a similar build order from the last matches from Protoss, making sure that they're going for pretty much the default build order, getting that gas geyser, getting everything started up. Building a Nexus up here. Hope we're going to see that Nexus here as soon as we hit 400 minerals. This worker got pulled a little bit early, going to slow him down a little bit. We see another barracks starting up on the side of isitacheese. Would have preferred seeing that resources being held in for a factory, as the factory is going to be delayed by a couple of seconds here. Factories are a very key Terran building. An interesting thing about Terran is in order to get their technology, they have to build up in order barracks, factory for your mech, and then starport for your air units. Unlike Protoss, they have limited amounts of stuff that they can build from each. Starting going for the expansions, these are the add-ons to the Terran buildings. Going for a tech lab on this one. Tech lab allows you to research upgrades specifically for the units inside your barracks. Sitting at 11 out of 16 mineral miners and maxed out on Vespene, a smart decision considering the situation that you're in. Tech lab finished up, kind of delayed on the upgrade coming from that. We'll have to wait for it to pop up. Choosing to prioritize a Stargate first. He does now have the resources to start up an upgrade. On the opposite end of the map, we have the Cybernetics Core finishing up, delayed on that upgrade once again. Forge up, robotics facility starting, second base finishing up for the side of our blue Protoss, meaning that he is slowly but surely securing that economic advantage like the previous matches. Shield battery up. Would like to see a second pylon here to make sure that it doesn't get unpowered in high-stress situations. Also in the match, reactor coming out for this barracks, meaning it's allowed to pump out 2 troops at the same time. And a tech lab finished on the factory, allowing for the production of siege tanks. Now, siege tanks is one of the most key Terran units, as it has 2 modes, regular mode and siege mode. On regular mode, it does high single target damage and can move. While in siege mode, it can no longer move, has a much higher range. I believe the range is 10 while it's in that mode, meaning it can reach from the edge of here all the way out to here, allowing for one to defend the base if positioned properly. Unfortunately, it is not up near the edge, so it's not going to be able to do as much work as one would normally like, but it will deal splash damage to any incoming units. Worker down here waiting to start up the next base, running a little bit low on resources. You need 400 minerals to start up another base. Cloaking upgrades starting up for the Banshees. Banshees are one of, again, the tech lab units that you can build from the starport. They are flying units that can only hit ground, and they also have energy, as you'll notice. The purple bar down here is the energy used for cloaking. It cannot stay cloaked forever. It takes 1 energy per second while cloaked, and it will eventually run out. As you can see, this Banshee is heading straight across the map here, making sure that it can get some damage done. This is what you'll see in a lot of higher end matches. People will try to get some economic damage in on their opponent while they can. Looking at the side of IAmCoolMan, he doesn't have an observer. He only has a single stalker and a sentry. These are the only things that he has that can air, meaning that this Banshee should be able to do a decent chunk of damage. It appears we're waiting for the second Banshee, however. Might be a misread, because the Stargate does finish up, meaning that I will expect to see some production out of here pretty soon. Workers going into the gas currently. First Cloak Banshee comes into the base. Let's see how much damage it gets done. First worker down. Unfortunately targeting a worker that went into the Vespene Geyser, so it can't deal any damage. Not Observer here, finally out, able to push this Banshee back. Second Banshee here as well. Looks like they're going to fly around and try to go in from the backside of the main base. In the meantime, back over here, we have the Hyperwing rotors upgrade for the Banshees, allowing them to move faster, and more bio units pumped out. We got Marines, we got Marauders. Marauders are great because they have an upgrade in the tech lab called Concussive Shells. Unfortunately, he does not have that upgrade yet. Concussive Shells will slow your opponent's movement. He also should really look into getting both Combat Stim and hopefully Combat Shields for his Marines. Combat Shields increases the amount of Marine hit points by 40, meaning that they'll die slower. And the other upgrade that I mentioned, we hit a supply block here. He can't produce anything unless he undoes that supply block, and we still don't have any supply depots out. Every second he's blocked is another second that he's going to be losing behind. It was because he was going on the aggression here. He wasn't paying attention to his eco. This is a disadvantage you'll often see, is when people are focusing on microing their units while engaging the opponent. They aren't focused on their macro, which is their production. Now we have 3 of them getting built up. Hopefully that's going to undo the supply block. Meanwhile, our little heroic Banshees were getting damage done across the map. Each one, total of 9 workers have been taken down by these Banshees, meaning that they're doing an excellent job at what they can do. Both are out of energy though, so sending them back across the map here would be a bad call. No upgrades on our command centers here. Terran command centers can be upgraded into one of 2 things: a planetary fortress and a command center. Sorry, not a command center, orbital command. Now, orbital commands have several abilities, including call down mules, which mine your minerals for you. They don't cost supply, they mine faster, they're more worthwhile. They also have scans that lets you reveal invisible units, and they have an ability that allows you to increase your supply instantly that could have potentially undone that supply block we just watched. Stuff is getting built up here. We have a Raven out. A Raven also reveals invisible units, but it is a unit that can also move, like the Observer, which is an excellent choice here. Vikings are an interesting unit because they can hit air and they can transform into a ground unit to hit ground. They have to choose one or the other, however. But as you can see here, IAmCoolMan has 2 Void Rays and a bunch of ground units. Isitacheese is trying to move out across the map, training his units. Hopefully he'll regroup here before trying to engage. Only 1 medevac, meaning that he won't be able to do much healing for his team here. Army grouping up to save the 3rd. Isitacheese moving in. And IAmCoolMan is choosing to No, he won't be sacrificing his ground today. Anti-armor missile! Wow, okay, so that's a Raven ability that reduces the defenses of any unit it hits, meaning that they'll take a lot more damage. That was an excellent move there, but the concave from IAmCoolMan ending up cleaning up the army. That's now a 16 supply army left for Isitacheese. Protoss moving straight for the counterattack, knowing that he just took out most of his opponent's army and he's not going to be able to build it up very fast. Second siege tank pumped out here. Like to see it go into siege mode. I'd like to see that wall off come up. No wall off yet, however. choosing to put the siege tank back here. As you can see, the ranges, this is only going to cover the ramp, and this is only going to cover a small amount of the base. A lot of the surface area is being left open for the Protoss army to come in here. They're going to take out that command center pretty quickly, and it goes down. Workers not trying to rotate because they got walled off in defense of the main base. This is going to be a massacre. Total of 19 workers end up going down here. Although, for the Protoss army just keeps walking into that siege tank range, they're going to have issues. The Protoss army is really big. No blink for the stalkers, so he can't get up onto that high ground without killing something else or getting vision with a flying unit. He does have some of those, but it's probably not enough in this situation. Back on the production tab, you can see that the second base is getting rebuilt. Another siege tank coming up for that base defense. It's a Turtle Terran versus a Protoss that's free to keep mining the map. Turtle will eventually run out of resources. Seeing as you cannot expand to more bases, you can't earn any more resources by producing workers to take them. Although we finally see an orbital command upgrade started.
This is a really even fight right now. 46 to 44. Omaha has more supply. 42 to 40.
Just a fun little animation there. Orbital command finished. You can see the energy there for its abilities. It's going to definitely be useful for our pink Terran. Fourth base for the Protoss, however, started up. It is 59 workers to 21 right now. You can see IAmCoolMan has quadruple isitacheese's income and 3 times the Vespene income. That is a very sad disadvantage here. Ground units 1, armor 1, and now shields 1 getting built for our Protoss. Once again, we have units in the main base trying to deal some damage. They got 2 workers, but not a ton else. As you can see, that our Protoss is dealing a lot more damage here on our units lost tab. You can see 5,400 minerals, 1,300 gas to 2,900 minerals, and 1,100 gas. About an equal gas trade, but almost double the amount of minerals lost. Starting up our major air production here, we can see 3 total carriers on the production tab at all times. That's going to be a very serious issue for isitacheese because he doesn't have a lot of stuff that can shoot up at air. I'd like to see a lot more Vikings here if he knows his opponent is going for an air transition. He only has 1. Here comes the opponents across the map. This is going to probably be the end of the game. A move command. Oh no. So there's 2 different ways of moving you can do by... looks like our units are going to get cleaned up, and GG is called. First match, 13 minutes in. IAmCoolMan is just definitely doing a better job. 4-minute supply cap on that Terran. That is quite painful. Unfortunate. 20,000 point difference. As you can see, the army value just spiked after that first engage. And we will be heading into a second match here shortly. All right, welcome back. We'll be heading into our second match here shortly. All right, here we go. 10-second countdown has begun. A reminder that IAmCoolMan is currently up a game. Best 2 out of 3. If he wins this next match, that will be GG, and he will be our division champion for Division 2. Map today is Neo Humanity LE, chosen by isitacheese. This map is usually Terran favored over Protoss, so I guess we'll see what truly ends up going down here. Loser gets to choose map, so I'm sure isitacheese was making sure to choose something that would get him an event. isitacheese has switched races to Protoss. going for the build, similar build to what Yogg was doing his last time. Both starting up their pylons. Unfortunately, I do believe this pylon's energy range isn't enough to do the wall off like IAmCoolMan would normally want.
Looks like both players are going to stay on Zerg.
Gateway going to start up. Probe going back, probably going to start up that Vespene extractor. Opposite end of the map, Gateway started up as well. It's going to be faster, but he's not going to have a wall off. Once again, a trade-off. IAmCoolMan is definitely hitting his worker builds faster, however, meaning that he'll start getting that economic advantage from the last couple of matches starting to take a play in this match. IAmCoolMan choosing to take mineral workers and feed them into his Vespene extractor instead of just letting the new ones rally in, meaning that he'll fall behind in the mineral department but take the advantage in the gas department. And we see the immediate build of a cybernetics core on the side of isitacheese, but we don't have one for IAmCoolMan. And might I say, isitacheese is a pretty cheesy name. Have yet to see him go for a true cheese yet. Considering the name, I'd expect a little bit more cheesy gameplay. More and more workers getting built up here. Finally, probably going to see that second base pop out as soon as he has the minerals. However, once again, that economic advantage for the side of blue is starting up. Instead of going for Gateway, however, we're going straight for a Stargate. Are we seeing a true... Not sure how to feel about this one, folks.
Everybody here already had this one. Yeah. They're both doing the exact same thing.
Rogue One does have one more worker.
Not a lot's going to happen before that mark. Wall-off's going to finish up here after this robotics facility is done. Gateway finishing up as well.
Which is actually per minute. So the better you make your units, the better your fights are going to be.
Actually, no upgrades for either side. Both chose not to go for warp gates this time. Warp gate actually starting up for our pink Protoss. As you can see in the upper left-hand corner, also going for a fleet beacon, meaning he's going to be pumping out units from that Stargate shortly. That unfortunate forget of Warp Gate is going to slow down our blue Protoss's production drastically. Choosing to go for Immortals. Immortals aren't able to fit through a one-space gap, meaning that they'll get stuck in base unless they have a Warp Prism to carry them out. Warp Prisms can pick up units and move them, which is very convenient for Protoss. Forge going to finish up. Once again, that is the ground upgrades. We're going to see weapons upgrade 1 starting up. But against carriers, this small army from the blue Protoss isn't going to do much. Only 2 units that can hit air for now. Might be an issue in the near future. Going to see a Stargate start up over here, as well as a bunch of other units, Observer, Zealots, finally Warp Gates. I'd want to see that Chrono boosted considering the situation that he's in. His opponent has had Warp Gate. He's going to have Warp Gate for a solid 30 seconds longer than him, meaning an increase in production. Only 1 gateway though.
They're going basically the exact same build as last game, but
except for that, well, last game, yeah. Only difference right now between this road shit and that Phoenix 1 layer.
Oh, but Rogue One is now supply blocked with this pickout of the.
But he managed to pump out another over just in time.
IAmCoolMan about to get supply blocked if he doesn't build a pylon here soon. And 2 extra workers on this Vespene extractor is finally rotating them.
All asking any BT. Colin now getting the Roach Warren up.
Yes, he will. And yes, he has queuing up an evil chamber as well. Probably something.
Rogue One is also gearing up in Hero.
Ground weapons one about to finish up. Air weapons one halfway done for our pink Protoss.
But Rogue One does have
More and
some
more
rogue
carriers starting to show up on the production tab here. Carriers benefit a lot more from damage upgrades for air because they have those 8 interceptors, each dealing damage at the same time. Each interceptor deals 1 more damage with the upgrade, being a total of 8 extra damage. 2 gateways up, waiting for some minerals if I'm not incorrect here before you can start up another carrier. Going for a 3rd base here, but he doesn't really have the workers to saturate any base. Looks like he's trying to build some more workers, but he is supply blocked as well. Not supply blocked for workers, though. He's actually trying to go for a mothership. Mothership starting. Mothership is a great unit, as it can prevent vision. Trying to scout with a zealot here, getting to see the entire enemy army. This is misplay from IAmCoolMan, letting isitacheese know that there isn't a lot of army here that can hit air. Without enough of that army, he is going to lose any straight up fight. That's 3 carriers. 3 carriers can deal with 1 Void Ray fast. Same with a couple of zealot stalkers. That army will be cleaned up in a matter of seconds if IAmCoolMan chooses not to go for more air. Going the Void Ray speed upgrade. Attack +1 finishes up for the side of the pink Protoss. 2 more Stargates starting up for blue. We got that mothership finishing up here in like 20-ish seconds, I want to say. Choosing to bring the carriers across the map here, see what they can get done. I think they're going to do a lot of work here, especially considering there is no shield battery for the side of the blue. Here they come. Starting the damage. You need to focus those Void Rays, otherwise he's going to lose the fight. Void Rays deal bonus damage to the carriers. You got to right-click, my man. There you go. First Void Ray going to go down here, and he said no. Unfortunately, they're set to an attack move, choosing to prioritize a lot of different units. 3 carriers go down. That could have been a great fight for our pink Protoss as long as he had focused the right units. Those Void Rays doing all the difference in that fight. As you can see, they have all 3 kills, meaning that they were the ones doing all the damage there. Mothership finishes up, cloaking its units. More and more carriers on that production tab. Unfortunately, the side of our pink Protoss is going for air weapons 2, while the side of blue only has gotten 1. Blue is also going for carriers as well. I'd prefer to see a mass Void Ray army, however, considering that your opponent is going for carriers, you know that they'll be armored. You can take them out fast with the Void Ray. Blue moving across the map here, knowing that his opponent is kind of down on the luck with his army. Only 32 army units, but they're going to be cloaked by that mothership, so they won't do as much damage as one would like. Void Rays show up at this 3rd. Mothership moves over. Mothership seen for the first time, cloaking that base, making sure that damage can't be done. Carriers start dealing damage, focusing out the Void Ray. Come on, take out that Void Ray. It's at like 2 HP. There you go. Now they can start taking out the rest of the enemy army. Army starts slowly dying out here as most of it can't hit air, meaning that it's left to just die to the carriers. 2 carriers doing all the work. Set to accidentally hit your own unit. That's unfortunate. More carriers showing up. We're going to target out the Void Ray. Good job there. Taking out more and more of those Immortals. Immortals can't hit air. They may be tanky. They were worth a lot of resources, but they can't hit air. Slowly getting zapped down to death. Looks like our pink Protoss is going to try to move out across the map. He may be down on the army, but he is up in the correct types of army. Choosing not to move across the map, creating a little chain with his carriers just kind of hovering out here in front of his 3rd, making sure that you can't get snuck up on. I'd like to see that mothership back on the production tab. I'd like to see more carriers on that production tab, but he is supply blocked at 66 supply. Unfortunate considering his opponent currently has a max of 165 and is utilizing most of it. That is definitely a disadvantage. Disadvantage economically, as well as our blue Protoss is going for a 4th base here. We're starting to see that economy slowly creep into this match, slowly making the difference.
College is getting more and more supply on it.
Canceling those orders. Hopefully, we don't want
Oh, not
More units getting warped in, slowly building up that advantage.
at least one Ravager. And you can see
Base maxed out. We're trying to rebuild that third base for our pink Protoss here, but unfortunately it's still getting rebuilt. Carriers tried to do a little bit, ended up getting scared off. Like to see, there's that Mama ship back on the production tab, along with air upgrades 3 and 3 carriers at a time. Waiting to see Chrono Boost here. Got some energy left up on our Nexuses. Chrono Boost coming out on one of the carrier producers. Making sure we're getting those built up. As you can see here on our units tab, there are 7 carriers versus 5 and no Void Rays. An unfortunate misplay by our blue Protoss. Void Rays would be much better here against these mass carriers. Being able to focus out, especially that one carrier with no health, only shields would be nice. Shields 1 coming up here though, meaning that these carriers are about to get a lot more shield. As you can see, when it finishes up, it'll bump up to... Sorry, correction, that increases the armor on shields. Armor means that it'll take 1 less damage. Kind of cancels out any other upgrades, meaning that Air Weapons 1 actually won't mean much. Sorry, that Air Weapons 2 actually won't mean much for the side of our pink Protoss. Army grouping up here with the Mama ship. Mama ship ensuring that only the mothership can get hit until it goes down, unless there is some sort of vision from the side of blue team here. Blue team moving out. 5 carriers once again, a few stalkers, few immortals. Immortals are kind of useless though against this pure air army. Up to 10 carriers for the side of our pink Protoss. Pink Protoss trying to move across the map. They don't know that the blue has tried to move out as well. Blue team has a mothership as well. I mean, that's going to be a duel of the motherships before the damage can be done. Some Void Rays in this blue army. And we start seeing the issue here, just the sheer amount of carriers slowly burning away at this blue team army. Those air upgrades are really kicking in here. And as you can see, air upgrade 3 is about to kick in any second now. 3, 2, 1, and it hits, meaning that's going to be dealing a lot more damage. Pink's choosing to withdraw, knowing that he doesn't have enough units at the moment. I'd like to see them start up another base here any second. They're kind of sitting with a bunch of workers not doing anything. And as you can see, that economic advantage is kind of evened out because IAmCoolMan hasn't been able to invest resources into his economy in a long time. He hasn't been focusing on rotating workers. They're kind of overproducing here. 3 carriers to 3 carriers being produced. Weapons and armor 2 for the blue Protoss for air starting to finish up here. Both building towards that ultimate late game. But friendly reminder that these matches are set to a 25-minute limit. For the 25-minute mark, it will automatically end, meaning that whoever has the more points will win the game. Weapons and armor 2 finishing up for blue air here, meaning that effectively there's only attack damage 1 for these pink Protoss pieces against enemy air. Going on the aggressive here from a surprise angle, trying to shut down that forge, make sure that he can't get the upgrade out, but he miscalculated, thinking there wasn't any more pylons than that. Going to lose 1 carrier. Only 1 carrier goes down. A carrier for pylon isn't the best trade. I think he will win this fight though. And I'm incorrect. That's more carriers than I expected. Pink is going to go down here. Just getting that slow economic advantage. Also kind of funneling his units in. Mothership starting back up. Also more efficient upgrades from the side of IAmCoolMan. A slight macro decision that will ensure a victory, if done properly. We're going to start up another base here for isitacheese, but it's going to be canceled by the enemy army here, it appears. Moving into the base. 2 workers, 4 workers. And GG is called, and IAmCoolMan is our state division champion. We'll be going over to awards on the main NSCSA channel shortly.